Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my people. Good morning. My name is Alan Palmer, Silver Grenadine's favorite and most citizen. Today I'm going to come to you with a message, and I'm going to give you some historical facts. I'm going to speak about the Bloods and the Crips, why they do what they do, and what does the Bible have to say about their behaviors. The topic for today is the Bloods and the Crips. Why do they do what they do? And what does the Bible have to say about their behaviors? You will get to learn a lot of things today. Most of the things we have covered previously in lessons of the past, and some of the information you will get here are new historical information. But we are going to tie in the biblical information with lessons that we did in the past. So as I speak here now, I am just taking some time out to invite some people to join this video today. I hope I do not invite anyone who do not want to join, but if I invited you to join this video and it is not your interest in hearing what I have to say, it's no big deal. I mean, you could just do not hang around. People, I want to share a song with you that I wrote over the past week. I think it's a nice song, but I don't know what you will think about this song. Right? So I am going to, while I invite some people here to view this video, I am going to share this song with you, and I hope it resonates with you. Right, I hope it resonates with you. The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much, but the prayer of the wicked will never reach Yah's throne. The Most High He honors the life of His faithful sons. So when He says, "Peace, be still," the wind and the wave obeyed. So blessed is the man who is faithful. Blessed is the man who is holy. Blessed is the man who call on the name of the Lord. Blessed is the man who is holy. Blessed is the man who love justice. Blessed is the man who make the Most High his God. So blessed is the man who is faithful. Blessed is the man who is righteous. Blessed is the man who calls on the name of the Most High God. Blessed is the man who is holy. Blessed is the man who loves justice. Blessed is the man who make the Most High his God. So blessed is the man who is faithful. Blessed is the man who is righteous. Blessed is the man who call on the name of the Lord. So blessed is the man who is holy. Blessed is the man who love justice. Blessed is the man who make the Most High his God. So blessed is the man who is righteous. Blessed is the man who is holy. Blessed is the man who make the Most High his God. So blessed is the man who is faithful. Blessed is the man who is righteous. Blessed is the man who calls on the name of the Lord. People, that's the song I wrote over the week. I can only give you the first verse because, to be honest, I can't remember the rest. I'm not a vocalist, I just write the songs. Right? I honestly cannot remember the rest. That's why I could only give you that. So my people, today, we are going to deal with a very interesting topic. A topic that the enemies of truth try to prevent me. Thank you, Diana Hero Trotman. Thank you very much. Today, I'm going to deal with a serious topic. A topic that the enemies of truth try to threaten me in the sly to ensure that I doesn't speak about today. But the words of the Most High must always be proclaimed, even among opposition, even among threats, and even in the face of danger. Yesterday, when I did my social issue video, political video about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, at the end of this video, I mentioned that I'm going to deal with the Bloods and the Crips. I'm going to examine their behaviors, and I'm going to tie in their behaviors with the Bible. And when I mentioned this, what happened? While I was praying at Exposition Park, first there was about 5 young black men came and take up a seat right obliquely opposite to me. In about 5 minutes after those 5 black men came and take up a place right opposite to where I was praying, then about 10 others joined them. And from the conversation that I was hearing on and off while I was praying, is that these guys were gangsters. They were even charging a firearm. And all of these activities was to try and deter me from speaking what I intend to speak today, what I intend to share with you today. You understand? Because the enemies of truth don't want the truth to be told. They want the opportunity to go about plying their evil trade among the Israelites. Have the Israelites living in fear. Have mothers and fathers mourning for their children day in and day out, while they sit back far away from the conflict that they have created among the people, and they throw the blame. They use their media to throw the blame back on the victims that they have created. So today, even among indirect threats, I am going to speak the truth. I am going to speak the truth here today, regardless of who is offended, regardless of who is upset. I am going to speak the undiluted truth here today. Let me give you a little story. On April 1st, 2019, a rapper, a Los Angeles, California rapper by the name of Nipsey Hussle was stabbed to death. He was stabbed to death right in the public view. It is alleged that one Eric Holder was the man who stabbed Nipsey Hussle, a man who he would have known as a child, to death. What I'm going to tell you here is serious. Nipsey Hussle was a gangbanger. He was a rapper who have been making it big in the hip-hop world. He was also a gangbanger, as they call him, a gangster, who was associated with the Crips. So why am I speaking about Nipsey Hussle's death in the introduction of this video that is going on to deal with the Bloods and the Crips, their behaviors, and what the Bible has to say about it? I will tell you this. Nipsey Hussle was killed on the 31st of March 2019. Sorry for my first error. He was killed on the 31st of March 2019, a Sunday. But prior to that, Nipsey Hussle realized that within the black community in Los Angeles, California, there were two rivaling groups. He was on one side of the group and the other group were the Bloods. And these groups were fighting among themselves. These are black men, strong, healthy, intelligent black men. But they were fighting among themselves, killing each other for absolutely no reason at all, based on a right that the Constitution of the United States gives them to associate with whatever group they choose to associate with. So if one person is wearing red and another is wearing blue, these colors represent friction among the wearers. Over the last 3 or 4 decades, thousands of black men and women have met their deaths at the hands of the people who should have been protecting them, their own black brothers and sisters. Nipsey Hussle, in his maturity, realized that this cannot be right. Even though I am a part and have been a part of the Crips, the fact that I am killing another black man because of the group he chose to be associated with, it has to be wrong. So prior to Nipsey Hussle's death on the 31st of March 2019, he wrote to the commissioner of the Los Angeles Police Department and he set up an appointment to go and speak with the commissioner or the chief of police of the Los Angeles Police Department. And the topic on the agenda was to see how Nipsey Hussle could use his celebrity, his fame and his popularity to quiet the violence among the gangs, among the black-based gangs in Los Angeles, California, who were fighting and killing each other. His appointment to meet the police chief of the Los Angeles Police Department was set for April 1st, 2019, All Fools Day. I don't know if the police commissioner was playing a game with Nipsey, letting him know that I am just fooling you because you will never meet you will never make this meeting. But however, on the 31st, Sunday the 31st of March 2019, Nipsey Hussle met his death at the hands of someone who he knew. He never get the opportunity to go to start discussion with the Los Angeles Police Department chief and other senior officials to bring peace within the black community among the rivaling groups, the Bloods and the Crips. Why did Nipsey Hussle, given the date of April 1st or Fool's Day for that meeting, why was Nipsey Hussle killed the day before he was supposed to attend this auspicious meeting with the police chief of the Los Angeles Police Department? It is because there are elements in this community who want to ensure that the black community lives and exists in an environment of fear. Not fear of the KKK, but fear of their own children, their own youths. young men and women, young, intelligent, healthy men and women who are now killing each other based on a right that the Constitution of the United States of America gave each of them to exist and to be a part of any group they choose to be a part. Why did this happen? Is the question we must ask, but that is not the most important question we must ask. A lot of people believe that the Bloods and the Crips were the first street gangs that roamed the street of California, particularly in the county of Los Angeles. But this is not so. In the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, listen to me carefully, in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, there was a gang of white youths called the Spook Hunters. And you know the word spook is a derogative name that is given to the African American. So here we have these street gangs of affluent white youths who call themselves the nigger hunters or the spook hunters. And their responsibility was as soon as sunset to patrol all of Los Angeles, California, and any black person they meet on the streets after sunset will be beaten and dealt with according to their feelings at the time. Remember, the Spook Hunters was a street gang, the first street gang in Los Angeles, California. Their objective and their target was the black and the Latino community. After 6, if you were black or if you were a Latino and you were found on the streets, you were dealt with by these bunch of white affluent kids that was called the Spook Hunters. They operated in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. The 50s, the 60s, the 50s, and the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, sorry. The Spook Hunters, they had the support of the entire white community of Los Angeles, California. They had the support of the Los Angeles Police Department. Here we have criminal youths, criminal white youths running around committing crimes against black and Latino youths, young people, black and Latino people in general, and the Los Angeles Police Department, the chief law enforcement agency in the city of Los Angeles, give these criminal youths the support to commit crimes against citizens of this county, of this city, based on their race. People, listen to me carefully. The Crips was a group that was formed. The Crips was a group that was formed to protect themselves from the Spook Hunters. They don't tell you that. A group of black men came together and formed a group in order to protect themselves and their community from this bunch of white criminal hooligans who were running about and taking advantage of their association, their affiliation, and their whiteness, and imposing themselves on black and Latino, committing crimes against them. So very soon after the Bloods, the Crips were formed, and start retaliating, the spook hunters disappeared. Now we have the formation of a group that was based on the defense of themselves, that was based in fighting an opposition. But now the opposition disappeared. What were they supposed to do? That group should have been disbanded because their objective have been met. The spook hunters disappeared. But no, now they becomes the bully and start bullying the citizens in their own community. Uprise the Bloods. In the same way the Crips came up to defend the black community against the spook hunters, the Blood came up to defend themselves against the defenders of the black community, the Crips. You see, people, it is important that the white community have the Bloods and the Crips keeping hard-working, honest, law-abiding citizens of the Los Angeles County, of the Los Angeles City, and other states where they operate. The black citizen, it is important that they operate in the manner in which they operate, because it is important that the black community be kept afraid always, be kept in fear of their life. So that is why Nipsey Hussle was killed, because he was trying to undo one of the agendas of the white community, which is to ensure that the black community and black residents and black citizens continue to live in the United States of America in fear. First they had slavery. When slavery was abolished, they had the Ku Klux Klan, who's still in operation today. When the Ku Klux Klan, when it was not fitting for them to wear their robes and do their lynching, they had the coon hunters, the spook hunters. And when the spook hunters no longer keep the blacks in fear, the agenda was to use these two rival groups to bring violence right into the community. Now they cannot blame us for the violence within the community. They cannot blame us, but they are still the ones to be blamed, because it is in their interest to fuel the violence in the black community, to keep citizens within the black community afraid. I did not even pray, but Most High, you know what is happening here. Now, so the Bloods and the Crips, look at how they behave. They involved in the destruction, the destruction of their neighborhood. The leader of the Crips, who was killed by lethal injection when he was on death row, Tookie Williams the third, when he was on death row, he wrote a letter to be read at his funeral, and there was a recording made of him speaking. One of the things that he asked the community, which it was too late for, is that the destruction that he did to the community, that the community must forgive him, and they must work to undo all that he have done. This is when he was on death row, facing death. He realized, but only when he was facing death, he realized the danger and the damage he and his group have done to the black community. And he's asking for forgiveness. And he now wants the people to put their energies into restoring harmony within the black community. You never see it. His gang, the Crips and the Bloods, were now too far gone. Peace was not on the table. Drugs, violence and crime, robbery, the destruction of the black community was now on the agenda. They were destroying their communities, and they did not even take time out to look and see how are my actions affecting my brothers and my sisters. How are my actions affecting the next generation? How are my actions affecting the elders in the community? There was no time to think about that, because there was money to be made. They were selling drugs that was brought in by the Ronald Reagan administration and put on the streets of Compton, California. You see that? The white influence that keep them too busy and too occupied making money by destroying their own communities. People, this is a fact. I'm not fabricating anything. I'm just telling you the fact as it exists. They were busy. They were busy selling drugs to their own. They didn't go into another neighborhood, to another race of people to sell these drugs to. No. They were selling the drugs to the people who their fathers knew. They were selling the drugs to the children whose parents they knew, to their friends who they went to school with. They were destroying their community with drugs. They were destroying each other with violence. And very often, the innocent were caught in the crossfire, and the innocent paid for the guilty. So what does this? So we see how we are trying to tie everything in. Let us go to Isaiah chapter 23 and 4. As the Lord said, verse 3. Just as my servant Isaiah has walked naked. No, let us go to Isaiah chapter 19 and we read verse 1, 2, and 3. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and all the idol of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. The heart of the Egyptian shall be moved in the midst of it. I shall set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. They shall fight one against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. The spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. So what the Most High is saying here, that he is going to set, and he's speaking about Egypt, he's not speaking about Israel, but it all applies. When Israel failed to comply with the words of the Most High, even the curses that was intended for other nations will fall upon us. And we have to believe that, because the word of the Most High is truth. It never fails. Let us skip down to 2. The spirit of Egypt shall fall. That means all of the things that made Egypt Egypt would disappear. They'll become frightened. They'll become down in spirit because of what is happening in their community. And this is what is happening in the black community today. And because it's all about rebellion. But listen to this. The Most High has mingled a perverse spirit in their midst. What happened? What happened here? Why is this happening to Egypt? The Most High has mingled a perverse spirit in their midst, and they have caused Egypt to err in all her works. As a drunken man, she stumbled in her vomit. So what is happening here? The Most High put a perverse spirit among Egypt, and this is why they were fighting against each other. And this is what is happening in the black community in the United States. The Most High has put a perverse spirit among the black community. That is why they are fighting among each other. That is why they are killing. And that is why the hearts and the spirits of the elders, the youths, and the other law-abiding citizens and the black community have fallen. Their spirits have fallen because the Most High have put a perverse spirit in their midst. Listen carefully, people. Listen carefully. What happens to the people who have a perverse spirit in their midst? This is what we have to find out, right? We see here in the case of Egypt, they were fighting among each other and so forth. Let us go to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 19, and we will read from 9 to 11. And we will see what happened to Saul and the effects when the Most High Spirit leaves Saul and the Most High sent an evil spirit to occupy Saul, because the Most High have chosen not to dwell with Saul anymore. Let me lay the story for you. In 1 Samuel chapter 18, the Most High sends Samuel, his prophet, to Saul. He says, Samuel, go and tell Saul to go to Amalek, the Amalekites, for what they did to my people Israel when we came out of Egypt. Have Saul go and destroy the Amalekites. Kill everyone, even the cattle, their goats, their sheep, everything. Kill everything of Amalek. Saul refused to comply with the Most High instruction, and so he spared the king of Amalek. Not only did he spare the king of Amalek, he spared the best ox, the best sheep, and the best goats to sacrifice to the Lord. And because he didn't follow the Most High instruction, the Most High take away Israel from out of Saul's hand. He removed his spirit, because not only did he not follow the Most High instructions, he encouraged the men and women who the Most High put in his leadership, in his care, to disobey the Most High also. That is a serious offense. So the Most High decided, Saul, I am done with you. He withdraw Israel from Saul. He take away his Holy Spirit, and he put an evil spirit on Saul. Now, listen to this. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 9. We are going to read. And the evil spirit of the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. So he has an evil spirit upon him. And he is now sitting in his house with a weapon in his hand. I think the sun is coming up, so let me just come in the sun. David played with his hands. So David was commissioned to play the harp. And when David, the righteous son of the Most High, plays the harp, it chased away the evil spirit that possessed Saul. So now Saul was sitting with a javelin in his hand, and David was now playing the harp to chase away the evil spirit. And Saul, verse 10, and Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin. But he, David, slipped away out of Saul's presence, and Saul smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped. So we see, when you have a demon, an evil spirit in you, you become violent, unnecessarily violent, even violent against the people who are supporting you, the people who are fighting with you, the people who are standing and watching your back. You become violent, unnecessarily violent against people who are your allies. Right? So here we see that when the Most High put a perverse spirit among the Egyptians, they start fighting against each other, brothers against brothers, neighbors against his neighbors, city against city, confusion. So that is what is happening in the black community in the United States. The Most High has put a perverse spirit within the black community. That is why the Bloods and the Crips are warring against each other. That is why the spirit of all the people in the black community, especially in Chicago right now, have fallen because the violence have overwhelmed them. The violence is too much for them. The violence is so overwhelming that everyone is afraid. But the people who are putting the drugs in the black community that support the violence, the people who are encouraging these people to fight, sit back and point their fingers at what they're saying. They're speaking about black. When the white police shoot down a black man and you complain, they say, why don't you talk about the black and black crime? But they are the one who are supporting the black and black crime in the black community. They are the one who have been bringing in the crack cocaine, the heroin, the methamphetamines, and all of these hard drugs and put them in the black community. They are the ones who take men and women who have been instrumental in killing their brothers and sisters in the black community. Men and women who are alleged to have murdered their brothers and their sisters. Men and women who have destroyed many lives in the black community. They are the ones who take them and make them rap stars and give them millions of dollars. They are the ones who are now sending a message to the young black men and women that if you are good boys and good girls, if you sell drugs on the streets and destroy your community, if you are a part of the Bloods and the Crips and shoot each other, maybe like Snoop Dogg, maybe like Jay-Z, maybe like Tupac, maybe like Nipsey Hussle, you will get a contract and become millionaires and drive about in Lamborghini. So we have all of these black young men on the street corners selling drugs to their brothers, trying to rap, hoping that if someone come and knock on my door to give me an opportunity, because I'm doing everything that the others did, I should get an opportunity too. If they are going to give me an opportunity, I will be ready. In the meanwhile, they are building thousands and have built thousands of prisons in this place. In their prisons, they have established a prison culture that see young men who enters the prison system are raped and are encouraged to rape other unsuspecting black youths who enter the prison system in revenge. Because I was raped, they have imposed upon me. So it is now my turn, my opportunity to rape someone else. Let them feel how I felt. And so they all participate in homosexuality. The Most High says, the Most High says, the Most High says in Deuteronomy 2013 rather, Deuteronomy 20:13. If a man will lie with a man, as he would lie with a woman, he must be put to death, and his blood shall be in his own, and their blood shall be in their own hands. If you escape the death now, you will end up like Saul have ended up. You will end up as Saul ended up. Let us hear what happened to Saul. 1 Samuel 16:14. The Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit of the Lord troubled him. So if you are not put to death, as the Most High say, you should be put to death for your homosexual activities, for your voluntary homosexual activities. When you make a conscious decision to have, being a male, to have sex with another male, when you make a conscious decision, if you escape death, the same thing that happened to King Saul is going to happen to you. That is, the Spirit of the Most High is going to depart from you, and the Most High is going to send an evil spirit upon you. That is why all these guys running around here with tattoos all over the skin, the Most High says. Before we get to there, in Deuteronomy 23:17, Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 17, this is what the Most High says. There shall be no whores among the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite among the son of Israel. There must be no whores among our people. Our woman must be upright and circumspect. Our woman must be upright and circumspect. There must not be any whore among the Israelites, the daughters of Israel, and there must not be any sodomite among the son of Israel. So when you go into prison and you're raped, that doesn't make you a sodomite. But when you voluntarily try to exert revenge on another person, and you rape a man because you're stronger than him, in retaliation, not against the person who have imposed himself upon you, but against a person who is weaker than you, who had nothing to do with your rape, you become a sodomite. You become a sodomite. And you are supposed to die. But if you escape death, you have not totally escaped. Because in the same manner as it happened to Saul, as it's outlined in 1 Samuel 16:14, the Spirit of the Most High will leave you, and the Most High is going to put an evil spirit upon you. People, if you notice, all of these brothers and sisters who walk around with gangs, they're walking with the pants below their buttocks falling off. In some cases, there are people without underpants and you see their naked buttocks. The Most High speak about this in His words. He speak about this in His words. Let us go to Isaiah 20. Let us read verse 3 and verse 4. Isaiah chapter 20 verse 3 and verse 4, and we'll find out why they wear it up, because they have an evil spirit in them. Could you imagine your life is in danger? A man is trying to kill you. You have the ability and the potential to run away from that man, but you can't run fast enough because your pants is at your thigh, your pants waist is at your thigh, and you have to run like you're playing cops or something like that. All you have to do is pull up your pants, tighten your belt, and run away. But you will run with your pants down at your pants waist, down at your thigh, and you will suffer death before you pull it up. It is not that they don't want to pull it up, it is because they can't pull it up. Because the evil spirit that possesses them prohibits them from pulling up their pants. People, listen carefully. Let us go to Isaiah chapter 20, verses 3 and 4. And we're going to see what it means to have your buttocks exposed. As the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has walked naked and barefoot for 3 years, for a sign and a wonder against Egypt and Ethiopia. Listen carefully. So shall the king of Assyria lead away Egypt as prisoners and the Ethiopian as captive, young and old, naked and barefoot. But listen to this now. With their buttocks uncovered, to the shame of Egypt. So it is a shame when you have your buttocks exposed like that. It means that you are a captive. Who are the captive is what you must ask. Who are the captive of these young men who walks about with their buttocks exposed? The Caucasians. They are enslaved to the Caucasians. The one who controls the devil or the demon that controls them. People, it's not me saying this. This is the word of the Most High. It is a shame to Egypt. It is a shame to any nation who walks around with their buttocks uncovered. The prophet of the Most High said this, not Alan Palmer. This is the prophet of the Most High words. That is why they would run to their deaths, unable to get away from their enemies who wants to kill them. But they will never pull up their pants and run and get away. They will run like little girls with their foot swinging to the right and to the left, outwards, trying to get away from death And all they have to do is just pull up their pants above their waist and draw their belts. And the obstruction that prevent them from getting away from danger is eliminated, but they can't. In the same way that it happened to Saul. In the same way that it happened to Saul. The Most High Spirit have left them, because most of them is see wearing the red and the blue. They have indulged in homosexuality in prison. They came out and they induced their young gang members who have never gone to prison into homosexuality. And because these young boys look up to these guys because they are their heroes, they heard about them, they heard stories about them, they gave in voluntarily. Not all of them are slaves. People, this is not me saying this. This is the word of the Most High. 1 Samuel 16:4 says, the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit of the Lord troubled him. Remember, Jesus says when he cast out the devils out of Mary, he says that if you left your house unattended, the spirit that they cast out will go and get 10 more stronger demons than him and come and inhabit that house. That's what's happening with these people. You see them running about, killing their brothers, terrorizing their neighborhoods. That is what is happening to them. You look at them, tattoos on their faces, tattoos all over their bodies. They can't help it. They are demon possessed. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 28, you shall not make any cuttings on your body, on your flesh, for the dead, nor paint any mark upon you. Don't put any cuttings upon your flesh, for the dead. A tattoo is a cutting in the flesh. It goes under the skin and it deposits inks under the skin in the flesh. You have to bore the dermis and to go down to the epidermis to get a tattoo. I said don't make any cuttings upon your skin or print any mark upon you. Look at them. They can't help it. Every part of their body, they have an overpowering urge to desecrate their body and go against the Most High law, because they have a spirit upon them. They have a spirit upon them. And who controls the spirit that possesses them? Controls them. People have gone through this. I don't have to go through over. We have gone through this in many studies. Right? We have gone through this in many studies. This is not me speaking. This is the word of the Most High. This is the word of the Most High, Yahweh, the creator of heaven and earth, the one who chose them. Listen to me, people. They are happy. They are happy when this happens, because it is the devil's intent to turn the Most High creation, the entire creation, against him. But what he is more intending in doing is those people, the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to use his children, the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, the Caucasians, to ensure that the Israelites never fulfill their God-given purpose on this earth. They keep us busy and occupied. and they are busy re-enslaving the black community in America. People, look over there. In the Rose Garden, you can see the entire Rose Garden. You can see everyone in the Rose Garden. In the Rose Garden, there are 2 people in the Rose Garden. A guy in blue, right at the fountain, he's walking across there. And a guy in green who is just leaving the Rose Garden. Right now, the Rose Garden is empty. This is how it is every day of the week. If you look over there, there's a Mexican family that is entering the Rose Garden. They are not going to visit the Rose Garden. They are going to be walking through the Rose Garden to get to the other side. Right? This is how the Rose Garden is every day. Anytime I go into the Rose Garden to do a video, as soon as I start the video, you'll see 20 Caucasians come with their phones out to interfere with the video. My main Facebook page, they lock me out of it and they take it offline. Why? Because my messages does not resonate with their objective to destroy the black community. So they take it offline. Even this week I post a video where a man came and locked me out of my own Facebook page. He stood right there and locked me out. I video recorded him and he walked away while I was video recording him. My main YouTube page, they shut it down for absolutely no reason at all. Because my rhetoric does not fall in line with their agenda for the black community in the United States of America and in the world. Because I am bringing too much of their secrets to you. It will make it harder for them to enslave you. So they're doing everything in their power to shut me up. They don't want me speaking. I have been coming to this place for the past 6 years. There have never been a highway patrol officer on this site. As soon as I start coming and doing my videos, they dispatch 2 highway patrol officers to this site. Why? 2 armed highway patrol officer, state police. When I call them out on Monday in the video that I did and says the FBI is upon me, they follow me everywhere I go. I don't care. I'm not afraid of them. The highway patrol, the state police is upon me. Santa Monica Police, APD, LAPD, Long Beach PD, every PD has a picture of me. They know who I am. And they follows me around. I'm not afraid of them. Because I am upsetting their agenda to re-enslave the black community as they are re-enslaving the black community in this California here. I go to Staples to do work. Black men and women, they come in there and they will give them the programs. They don't have the program for themselves. They will download it on their phones remotely. And they will come into Staples. They will hack into the Staples system and interfere with my work and edit my work. And that is how they pay tribute to their masters, their white masters. That to show their white masters that they are worthy. Talk about them, they came. That to show the white masters that they are worthy of the job that they have. That they love their masters. I tell you, one time I was on a bus. A big black man, he was walking with a cane. And I think he was from Long Beach. And he came to Los Angeles without permission. This is a grown man. He has to get permission from his masters to come down to Los Angeles City. And while he was on the bus, the master was talking to him through the demon. And the master was ramming him in his ass, and he was crying like a baby. Oh! And he was talking back to his master. Oh, Pookie, I love you, Pookie, I love you, Pookie. A big grown man, a great big grown man. He was talking back to his master. Oh, I love you, Pookie, I love you. And whoever he was calling Pookie, he rammed him in his ass. He couldn't sit down flat. He had to scack up his ass like that. This is, you see, they came because they told them that I am here doing video about right people. So they came, they take a while to come. You understand? They must be came from the Ronald Reagan building, because there's where they are assigned in this area. They don't assign here, they're not supposed to be here. For years, no highway patrol, no state police come here. The security manage this place. They bring them here because they're hoping that they will be able to intimidate me. Or if one of those gangsters attack me and I am dealing with them, they could shoot me down and be justified. You understand? They can't touch I. And that is why they're afraid of me. People, for all the wickedness they're doing here, I don't talk to the Most High. The Most High don't give me the right away. Every year since I've been here, March, April, May, June, every day the clouds will over the skies. There's a desert, right? The skies will overcast. The sky will overcast. The place will come chilly and cold. You don't have big cloud covers in desert. The Most High was showing me how to stop it. And now I have a discussion with the Most High. For this June, I said there will be no more June gloom. And up to now, there have never been a June gloom since the month started. Every June, they take away 3/4 of the sun, of the daylight, and give them the last part. Because those demons who learned to walk about, who have acquired bodies and walk about but cannot stand the sun, want to come out and play. I tell the Most High, give me the right away. There will never be a June gloom in this place. Yeah? And the rain that they get every year, it will never rain until Alan Palmer get justice in this place. And the price of my justice is high. It will never rain, people. They have tried all kind of things to make it rain. They paint the skies with their planes. How they call it? Cloud seeding. And as soon as the sun show up, all of the clouds disappear and the sun come out in its glory. The prayer of the righteous availeth much. The ardent fervent prayer of a righteous availeth much. That is why I have to stick close to the Most High. I have to see this thing through. I have to see it to the end. I have to see it to the end. Elijah, pray and tell God not to send rain. And the Most High honor Elijah's prayer. Because Elijah was faithful to the Most High. I, Alan Palmer, have been asking God, Yahweh, the Most High, to take away this June gloom. And it's only now the Most High have shown me how to get rid of June gloom. And since the beginning of June, there have not been any gloom. And I've been saying it in my posts, I've been writing it on Facebook. Now I'm talking it. Not only there will not be any June gloom, this place, this desert will go back to the desert it was. Because there is no rain is going to fall in this place until I, Alan Palmer, get justice. I, Alan Palmer, must be given justice. The prayers of the righteous man availeth much. For all of the black people that you have enslaved. You want to make me a slave? You want to tell me where I should go and do my videos? Huh? You want to have public property for all to come freely. But if someone goes there and doesn't speak as you want them to speak, you do everything in your power to exclude them. People, I have some video to do this week. I'm going to show you how the Caucasians plan. And in this big planning, this is a big property. This is a big property. Right? A big, big property. It has 1, 2, 3 museums. This school. It has the Coliseum, the Galaxy Football Club field, and it has a lot of land still that is unused, right? All of these facilities are prepared for whites. I will show you next week where I did my video yesterday. Is a little park that is dedicated for black. If you saw the place look dingy, I'll do a proper video next week, and I'll show you how even in their planning they are segregated. And if you really understand that this is predominantly a black community, over there is Crenshaw, right? Western. All of these are black and Latinos living. But in the middle of the black and Latino living, all the land was dedicated for white comfort, white recreation, white enjoyment. And they gave a park, I can tell you the measurement of that park from hand. About 150 meters, 75 by 75 meters altogether. I'll show you the park on Tuesday or Wednesday. People, this is the reality. Most High. As I come to the end of this session, Father, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to be exposed to the information that you have provided me. No one else has provided it. It's you who have provided it for me. You who led my footsteps and my eyes to gather this information. I thank you for the opportunity to share this information with your people. If I was unclear in any way or shape or form, please send your Holy Spirit to lend clarity to those to whom I lend confusion. Most High, until I come back to your people again, probably on Monday where I'll do some political social interest videos. Father, let everyone here feel and experience your blessing. Let everyone who hears my voice, whether live or on the rerun, acknowledge you as their God and start living faithful to you, because the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. In the same way, you allow my prayers to be answered and prevent doom gloom amidst the effort of the evils of this place not to happen. Father, honor their prayers as you honor mine. In your house's name I say let it be done. People, go out there, live your best life. Remember, you are children of the Most High. Behave like such. Behave like kings and queens, prince and princesses, because that is what we are.